Hello, and welcome to the Live Past Crazy Show. Your host is Yanmitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with her? Yanmitra appreciates you taking the time out to listen to the podcast, and it is her sincere hope that what we share is something that you can use to help you and someone you know live past crazy.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. I feel like you guys are crooked. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Rachel. How you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Joshua. Hope you guys are ready to get this day started. So let's go ahead. Let's get the stuff out of the way. If you want a Team Abundance shirt, you can order those today. We will be excellent. We will be proficient. We will be persistent. And the back has our name on it. We will execute. We will play, and we will win. So if you would like a Team Abundance shirt, you can go, let me post it in the comments. Good morning, Miss Joe. So you can order you a shirt. It is extra to have your name put on it. Otherwise, it will just say execute, play, and win. So good morning. Good morning. So let's get this morning started. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. My name is Yanmitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? Y'all, I've got to get another chair because I'm short and this one doesn't work with me right. So please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. We have 5 books. We have a movie. We have a podcast that is now on Amazon Music. It is on iHeartRadio. It is everywhere podcasts are found. Period. So, welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. If this is your first time, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Everybody else, good morning, good morning, good morning. I don't know why I feel like singing this morning and my voice doesn't. It's angry. So yesterday, y'all, we talked about execution, right? And how we were going to execute this thing for winning, and understanding that there were 6 things. Understanding that there's something to do, that you're powerful, you're strategic about your next move. Consider all your options. Put in your best players and don't be afraid to call the shots and give direction. And so that was yesterday. We talked about execution because we are the only mammals thing on the face of this earth who questions why they were put here and what they were put here for. And so we're not questioning that. We are stepping into our instinct, and what we were born to do is there. So today, let's go right into the Fearless quote of the day. Guilt. I heard this yesterday. I had a whole different quote picked out, but I heard this yesterday. Guilt does not get you great. Guilt does not get you great. I love that quote because when we begin to feel guilty because we want the very thing that we say we want, and we begin to receive it well and live in whatever it is that we say we want to, we can often feel guilty about that thing. We can feel guilty about, and there's some people who don't feel guilty, and I admire those people who don't feel guilty. They be like, look, it's mine, I work for it. But then there's some of us, when you start moving and doing things differently than everybody else, or having different conversations than they're having, we begin to feel guilty about that. And me being guilty is not going to get me to great. It's just not. And that quote is by Lynn Richardson. Guilt does not get you great. So we can't always feel guilty. We talk a lot about receiving well. And in the receiving well is not feeling guilty about what you are receiving. It's not feeling guilty about how you're moving, what you're choosing to do. So guilt does not get you great, okay? We're not apologizing at all. Good morning, Tiffany. Like yesterday, we talked about the execution of the play. We're on number 6. We calling the shots, and we're not feeling guilty about being great. We are the abundance. We receive the abundance well, and we're going to move with our instinct. Right? We're going to move with that and not apologize for it. And don't be like me, I did that for a long time. I apologized for all the things, and it was never my place it's never our place to apologize for our greatness. That's like telling God that we're sorry that he made us great. But he made everyone that way. It's not our fault that they chose not to listen to their instinct and do what they were put here to do. We can't feel guilty about that. So let's talk about how do you know when it's time to cut team members? That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about our exit strategy for those team members who cannot continue on Team Abundance. And I think we touched on a little bit, but I want to give you 3 things, maybe 4, on how do you know when it's time to cut team members? Because we talked about effort. Your effort is what's going to keep you on the team. Like you probably got on Team Abundance because you talk a good game and you know all the catchphrases and all the words. But when it comes time to actually execute on it, you can't do it because this is not the team for you. And it doesn't make Team Abundance any better. It doesn't make Team Lack any less. It simply means that's the team that you chose. And be okay with that. All right. So how do you know when it's time to cut team members? First of all, you got to understand that people will want to stay on your team. They may mean well, and they really do, but they can't play on this team anymore. If you Team Waddell, whatever your last name is, they love you, and they really want to stay with their whole heart, but they can't. And you as a coach, you've got to realize when it's time for somebody to step away. And that is you trusting your gut and knowing that they are no longer a valuable team member. You maybe set them on the bench, meaning maybe this friendship wasn't working, and so y'all wasn't friends like that. Like it was somebody you still talk to, but even in the distance acquaintance, like she wasn't playing in the game, but she was still on the bench. Sometimes you got to realize when it's no longer serving you, period, and they cannot be on the team. However you define your team, your journey, whatever it is, the thing that you're accomplishing, you got to assess all of your team members and see if they are capable of carrying it out. Thank you, Mr. Joshua. I appreciate it. So how do you know when it's time to cut his team members? And Mr. Joshua, hold on. I'm working on Team Abundance. I got it coming for you. Number 1, we got to create an exit strategy for those team members and send them on with love. Listen, if you've been with me for a while, we've been doing this. Oh, y'all, November make 4 years, right? 4 years I've been doing this in November. So create an exit strategy for those team members and send them on with love. Don't be like JoJo. So last year before last, I told y'all the story. Like, don't Don't be like me. When I began this journey, I got a life coach, honey. Could not tell me nothing. I got a life coach. And it was a lady who offered like 6 weeks free. And she gave me all the things to do. And at the end of it, I was feeling all of myself. Like, I was feeling all JoJo could handle. And I sent out an email to my friends. And I said, listen, if y'all ain't trying to talk positive, if y'all not trying to do all these things, if you can't bring positivity in my life, if you gonna gossip and talk about people, we can't be friends. Like, I sent a long behind email to all my friends. They thought I lost my ever-loving mind. And I had one friend that reached out to everybody else and said, JoJo's just going through something. Just be patient with her. Don't do it in arrogance. Do it in love. And see, I was doing that in arrogance. Remember, I always going to ask 3 questions. What is my intent? What's my intention? And why am I saying yes? My intent and my intention and why I said yes to sending that email was wrong. Because somewhere along the way, I did it with ego and not with love. You don't be like JoJo. Don't do that. So as we're creating an exit strategy for those team members, send them on with love. Send them with the hopes of, I wish you well in all of the amazing things that you're about to do on your journey. Remember, Iyanla Vanzant said, when you're setting boundaries, you're honoring your boundaries and honoring their boundaries. And you can say, from this point, I love you, but from this point, you cannot go and I cannot come. And so that means you're going to have to exit this team here. It doesn't mean I love you any less. It just means that on this team, it's down to the point where I've got to win this championship. And I cannot win this championship if everybody's not playing the same game. And we've got to be careful with people who will talk to us, and we will assume that they're playing on the same team that we're playing on. People who talk good game. I know that very well. My ex-husband, my abuser, was that way. He talked a very good game. So I did not know that he was not a part of my team until it was too late. Until it was time for us to win the championship. And what you don't want is when it's down to the last 60 seconds of the game or the last 6 minutes of the game, you down by 6 and you trying to win this championship and you find out who's not really on your team. That's why, as the coach, you got to always be continuously assessing your team. And just like you are assessing people, they are assessing you. So you've got to be mindful why you continue to play on this team. What is your motive? What is your intent? What is your intention? And why are you saying yes? So create that exit strategy for those team members and do it in love. Because you love them. It just means they can't play on this team. Number 2, you got to realize that you are speaking 2 different strategies. Winning and whatever else. We want to say winning and complaining, staying still, not being positive, not consistently showing up, having excuses. So it's time to cut that team member when you start to have 2 different strategy talks. If we're having team abundance talking, we're talking about how we're going to receive our abundance well. And they're talking about how they don't have any and they don't see where the abundance is going to come from. Then you need to think about that. Are we speaking 2 different languages? Like, what are we talking about that? And we talked about that, was it last week? Hold on, I'm going to find it for you. It was on 9/22 where we can't be worried about our opponent and how they practice. We can't be worried about that. Here it is. It's easier to move when you have a team that understands your moving language. If you have moving language, meaning because we're speaking into the affirmative, we're not questioning. I'm saying this is who I am. I'm not saying this is who I am. I'm not putting a question mark, and I'm telling you who I am. And so it's easier to move when everybody understands your moving language. So if we're in the affirmative over here, and then here come Negative Nelly, who is fresh off a team lag, and it's okay to want to switch teams, but you also got to read the playbook. You got to practice. You got to do your breathing exercises because there's a different capacity that is going to be required of you to continue on Team Abundance. It's a different atmosphere over here. On Team Abundance, we breathe differently. So when you are looking at and that was Dream Team. That was last week. We talked about putting together our Dream Team. That's, what are we fixing to do? You got to understand that we're moving differently. So number 3 is the behavior reminds you or takes you back to Team Lack, or let's do this one first. How do you know when it's time to cut team members? The behavior that they continue to do, what they are doing, reminds you of what you just came from. Thank you, Tashana. Good morning. They remind you of what you just came from. Good morning, Miss Diane. One of the quotes that I've used is, don't allow people to put a question mark where you put a period, and don't allow people to put words where you have put a silence, where you put silence. Meaning, if you have resolved that thing in your past, I have grown past it, I have learned from it, and it is no longer this, then don't allow them to put words where you have put silence. I'm not talking about that, because I done grown past it. Over here on Team Abundance, we are receiving well. And so, yes, that was part of my past, but over here where I'm receiving well, and we have a different mindset on Team Abundance. We will be excellent. We will be proficient. We will not quit. We're going to execute. We're going to play, and we're going to win. That's what I'm talking about. If you want to have that other conversation, then perhaps you belong on Team Lack. And please understand, Team Lack, they are professionals. You can't win an argument with somebody who's been negative their entire life. And if you ain't willing to put in your best players, when we down to the wire to win that championship, when it's the last 60 seconds and I'm about to shoot the 3, I need to know that my team members, somebody is posting up so I can take the shot so that we can win this championship, so our jersey can hang from the Raptors. And so that means I've got to look at the team members that I've got to cut. So if I have put a silence on this thing, you bringing it up in the last 60 seconds when I'm trying to win the championship, it's not serving the team at all. It's not serving my team. And if I'm trying to write a playbook for Team Abundance, and as I reassess all the team members, if what you're saying is not a moving language, because it's easier for me to move when my team understands my moving language, then maybe this is not the team for you. It doesn't make you any better, doesn't make me any better, doesn't make you any worse. But there are only 2 teams in this world, Team Abundance and Team Lack, and boo, even if you don't choose one, you just chose one. Because there's certain requirements over here on Team Abundance. There's just some things are not allowed. And when you open up your mouth to speak negative, words cannot come out. And when you sit down to write the negative, the pen will not work. Because we're only in the affirmative over here. That doesn't mean, I don't want you to think that we crazy and there'd be no challenges. No, but in my understanding my moving language, I understand that challenge, I'm looking at as how am I getting around it to still win this championship. Now, I may lose a game, but when it comes down to the championship, I'm fixing to win. We talked about that 2 weeks ago when it's hard, when you tired of playing ball, you tired of being positive, you're tired of everything. Right there, that's when you decide who fixing to win this game. And you've got to be able to depend on your teammates to help you win that championship. So how do you know when it's time to cut team members? Create them an exit strategy for those, send them on with love. Number 2, y'all not speaking the same strategic language. You talking about I'm receiving well, and they talking about I ain't got it. I can't, I don't know, it's hard. Boo, you doing things you ain't never done before. I didn't say it was going to be easy. I said we was going to win the championship. But that is your effort. That is you showing up every day at practice. And the practice is you changing doing something totally different every day. So if we're starting on your mindset, you thinking just one thought different than you did yesterday. And as you exercise that part of you that's never been exercised before, your capacity to breathe differently will change. You can't go out there and play with professionals and you the rookie coming in, because you can't even breathe right. You're going to be sitting on the sideline wanting the oxygen tent. My first soccer game, I couldn't make it through the first 5 minutes, let alone play the first half of running up and down the field. My chest was about to fall out. It requires different breathing. It is going to require a different capacity of you. So that's number 2. You're speaking different languages. And it's easier to move when you have a team that understands your moving language and you are at a different atmosphere. Now, if they starting to have panic attacks because your vision is here and we're not changing our vision because what is in front of us doesn't match what we want to see. We're not changing our vision. What we're doing is we're taking this vision and we're working it backwards. So now, in order to get to the championship, if I'm in the NBA playoffs and I'm trying to win the championship, I got to first start with showing up for practice. And then I got to win the games. And then I have to win the conference. And then I can get to the playoffs. Now I'm in the championship. The vision never changed, but it starts with practice. We just working this thing backwards, boo. Number 3, the behavior reminds you and takes you back to Team Lack. They're talking about things that you have overcome. And they think Team Abundance is too much. Like JoJo, like for real, you out of hand with this Team Abundance thing. It's okay, honey. We got a Team Abundance book coming. Just hold fast. And then you can say, we too much. Then you can say that. But their behavior reminds you and takes you back to when you were on Team Lack. And they are so good at it that they can slide you right back over to Team Lack and you not even think about it. It is in the slickness of the conversation. It is in, girl, do you remember wins? It is, man, let me tell you about. It is in those small things that you don't even think about that can just change your mindset or have you thinking or back in conversation with how you used to be, that now has got you derailed on what you should be doing. They professionals, boo. And they came to play. And you best believe they got their best player coming for you. If you don't think they got the Michael Jordan over there on Team Lack, you already done lost over here on Team Abundance. Because if you ain't willing to bring your best, they're going to eat you alive over there on Team Lack. Because what they didn't come to do, they didn't come to lose. When it's hard, right there, when you are battling yourself or you trying to figure it out, Team Lack has sent their best players in, and they fixing to win. They want to win this championship just as bad as you do. They want to hang their jersey from the Raptors. It doesn't make them bad. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm saying we have different rules and regulations, and we both trying to win this championship. And some people are on Team Lack by default. I can't. I don't care how hard I try. I can't default Team Lack. I just ain't got the money, and you just don't understand. Team Lack by default. Well, I done tried that way a million times, and I can't find a better job. Team Lack by default. Lovely people. Amazing, brilliant people. Period. I'm a hat person, Miss Starks. So think about that, at how their behavior, is it reminding you and taking you back to the things that you used to do when you was over there on Team Lack? Are they putting words where you've put a silence? There have been some topics, there's a lot of topics I have put silence on, meaning I have resolved them in my whole spirit, my soul, my being, and my core. Me and the Creator have come to an understanding, and there's a silence on this topic where Team Lack has now sent their professional in and said, Joe, girl, let me remember when you was real crazy about this, and this. Team Lack ain't playing with me. They're not playing. So if I've put silence there, I cannot allow someone else to put words there. I put a period. You're not fixing to come and ask me a question on something I don't put a period on. No. And you got to be willing on Team Abundance to have that conversation. If you're not willing to have that conversation, you're on a slippery slope back to Team Lack. And if they think that Team Abundance is doing too much, you got to be okay with saying, okay, I'm the only Live Past Crazy specialist, and you can call me crazy. I'll handle that. I'll take that title. JoJo, you doing too much. I will take that as well, because what I'm fixing to do is to receive all of my abundance well. That's what I'm fixing to do. And then as I receive it well, number one. Number two, I'm not going to apologize for how I receive well and how I receive the abundance that is mine to receive. Takes us back to the quote today. Guilt does not get you great. Guilt does not get you great. Me being guilty for receiving well is not going to allow me to win this championship. Guilt cannot live here. And trust me, honey, I have felt that, still feel it, and it's something that I work through. How do I work through it? Let me show you. Y'all about to know this already. Y'all should know this one by heart. This little blue sticker. I have no lack. I have only abundance. I receive all of my blessings and my mindset is yes. A little blue sticky note. So in those days when somebody makes me feel guilty, or I feel guilty on my own because I'm moving and doing, I'd be like, oh, because this is how good Team Lack is. You are receiving well. And you be like, man, I sure wish my friend could come. Man, that would be something if they could be here with me. Let me call them and say, girl, let me tell you, man, like you want your brother here with you. Man, you need to be over here because this is what I'm doing in my life and this is how I'm accomplishing, or I'm starting this business and I really want you to be a part of it. And they not ready for that. And because they're not ready for it, they still professionals over there on Team Lack. And they have been practicing for this conversation. So here comes your excitement of what you're getting ready to do and accomplish. And here comes their professionalism of, man, that sound kind of hard, dog. You sure you want to do that, JoJo? Like you ain't got no money to do that. But you ain't never done that before. How you fixing to figure that out? And here they come and all their professionalism and all of your excitement, and they will overtake you and eat you alive if you're not committed to what you're about to do. And that guilt will make you think, well, maybe they right. Maybe it ain't meant. Maybe I just need to stay here for another year. Okay, I'll stay in this relationship for another year. Oh, okay, I'll stay at this job for another year. And here you go negotiating your greatness because someone made you feel guilty about you receiving your abundance well. They are receiving their abundance well. Team Lack has abundance. They have all the abundance of what they need to operate and what it is that they're doing. If they are complainers, they have an abundance of complaining things to do. They ain't lacking for nothing over there. Oh, but when they come up against you, and we talked about that, what do you do when you're nervous and in all of this excitement and you done started something new? How do you handle it when Team Lack comes in and tries to take you? We talked about that last week. Go back and watch the shows from last week. So guilt does not get you great. You've got to be okay with receiving well. And when I feel that, I have no lack. I only have abundance. I receive all of my blessings and my mindset is yes. I read that every morning and it sits on my desk. Period. So cutting those team members, you got to create an exit strategy for them. And you know it's time to cut them when you start speaking different strategic languages. You want to receive and win. They want to complain and lose. And it is subtleness. It is said in love. It is in say, girl, I love you, but let me tell you this. I love you, but you need to be able to assess, is it really said in love? Or is it really saying in, I don't need you to be any better than you are, because then it's going to require something more of me. And if you become better over here, then maybe I can't be your friend because I'm more dedicated to Team Lack than I'm dedicated to being your friend. And you got to be okay with crossing that line. We talked about that yesterday. Number 6 yesterday was you the coach. You got to call the shots. You got to be okay with standing flat-footed and saying, look at that friend you have loved for 25, 30 years and say, boo, I'm fixing to win this championship. And if it's between me and you, I'm about to take you out. You about to get all this 5-2 because it's about to feel like 6-3 today. And it's not meant in anger or frustration. It's who's fixing to win this championship. Does that mean and here's the thing, does that mean they can never ever be on Team Abundance? Nope. Yes, ma'am. And Ms. Starks, you're going to get the first copy. I was going to email you today. It doesn't mean that they can't ever come over here on Team Abundance. It simply means that at this moment, they prefer Team Lack than Team Abundance. But we're receiving well over here. So think about those things today. And as a coach, you got to continuously reassess your team. When is it time for somebody to step away? When is it time for somebody to step away? And then be okay with saying, from this point, I cannot go and you cannot come. It's okay to say that. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. That's a stretching exercise, boo. It's gonna stretch you a little bit to say to that friend you've had forever, or that loved one, that say, from this point, you can't go and I can't come. I love you, but I can't go where you're going and you can't go where I'm going. It doesn't mean we can't have you my family. It doesn't mean that. It means whatever this championship I'm trying to win, whether it is your career, whether it's your relationship, whether it's life, whatever it is, it simply means my focus is I have got to win this thing. And I don't have the time, literally, to have the distractions to come to stop me from achieving this thing. Y'all know that funny quote, I got time today. And that usually means you got the time today to tell somebody all about themselves. Let's be mindful of how many times we say, I got time today, because I don't want you to get distracted from the thing that you need to be working on and or accomplishing. Period. So on this lovely day, the quote of the day, guilt does not get you great. It does not. Guilt does not get you great. Don't feel guilty about receiving well. Don't feel guilty about moving on from where you are and growing. We're not feeling guilty about that. Because I want you to understand, the same things that are afforded to you are the same things that are afforded to Team Lack. They have the same thing. Good morning, Courtney. That's my baby's name. They have the same things that you have. Team Lack, Team Abundance, Team Abundance, Team Lack. We are all afforded the same things every day. What we choose to do with them is our personal decision. We talked about that yesterday. We are the only animals on the face of this earth that question why we were put here. The bird is born knowing from the egg it was meant to fly. The fish from the egg, it knows it was meant to be in water. A dog automatically knows how to bark, a cat meow, a spider to crawl, an ant to build, a grasshopper to hop to do. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do from birth. We the only ones that have a hard time figuring that out. And we're the only ones who question it. And so over here on Team Abundance, when we finally figure out this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and we begin to trust the instinct and pay attention to the knower, because if the Creator created you and you were made in His image, that automatically makes you a creator by default, co-creator. You already got half of your purpose down, boo. And over here on Team Abundance, we're not trying to make this thing hard. Trust your instinct. Trust it. Folks will want to stay on your team, and that's okay. But sometimes they can't play on your team. And you as the coach, you got to be able to reassess your team members all the time. And you got to know when some team members you got to push them away and have that tough conversation. I'm trying to go somewhere with this, and unfortunately, you cannot come with me. You can't go. And be okay with that. I ain't going to say you ain't going to cry when you had that conversation. I ain't going to say you ain't going to be mad because they don't want to come. I ain't going to say that you ain't going to try your darndest to convince them to stay over here on Team Abundance. I've done all the things, but boo, I can't want it more than you want it. And in my wanting, you still have to want to do this for yourself. I can't want it and do it for you. I can't do it for you and give it to you. I can't want it, do it, give it to you, and you still don't want it. That can't happen. So just know it's easier to move when you have a team that understands your moving language. Period. And it's a different atmosphere over here on Team Abundance. We breathe differently because even as a rookie, we are at a different level of capacity. We're at a different level of capacity. Your breathing is different. That's why you practice every day. That's why you show up every morning. That's why you put forth that effort every day. I'm not saying, like when I first started boxing, my arms hurt last week when we had to hold them 5 pounds and do this for the whole hour and a half. We had weights and you were shooting your shots. That's when you decide who fixing to win this championship. Who fixing to win this game. Because you about to get all this 5-2 today. And right there, you got to be able to trust your instinct that you were made to do this thing. I didn't say we're going to be easy. I'm saying you were made for it. That means whatever obstacle, whether I lose this game, it don't matter if I lose this game because I'm still winning this championship. You may take a loss, but the fact that I'm fixing to win this championship ain't changing, boo. Because the more you show up for the game, the more you practice, the more that this is ingrained, the more you put forth the effort, the better you become, the more professional you become at being on Team Abundance, boo. You ain't the rookie that you started out to be. Now you the MVP. Now you done won Player of the Year. You the man. Because, boo, you been showing up every day. And it ain't the same from when you started. And that's why when we talked about this, when we win the championship, now what? Now I done won the championship. My jersey's hanging from the rafters. I done cut the net. Now what? Boo, you write your playbook for the people that's coming behind you. You never stop coaching. You are setting your team up for 4 generations down the road. Period. And if you don't think it's that serious, let me help you out. Look at your life right now. Go back to your mama's mama. You know, maybe they couldn't do what we could do. But there's certain things that they would have instilled in us that show up in our lives today. Let me break it down. Let me help you out. That's why you make macaroni and cheese the way you make it now, because your mama made macaroni like that. That's why you fry your pork chops if you eat pork that way, because your mama's mama. That's why you only clean your house with pine salt, because your mama's mama. That's why you fold your towels a certain way. That's why you only wash your clothes with certain things. That's why you raise your children a certain way. So if you don't think you setting it up for generations to come, you need to take a minute and look at how you do things in your everyday life. And that's 3 generations who have an effect on you today, how you live your life today. You're doing the same thing. So 30, 60, 80 years down the road, Grandma JoJo did it this way. And I want to make sure I have left them a playbook for Team Abundance on how to win this championship. And if I don't do that, if you can say, JoJo, it ain't that serious, okay, I'm not fixing to argue. I'm saying if I'm not setting them up to win, they are losing by default. And the only reason why you think losing is an option is because you never thought winning was an option. If winning is my only option, I can't consider losing. No. I may lose a game, but honey, let me tell you, I gained some experience. I learned to breathe differently. I understood the capacity to move with this way differently. The only reason why you losing is because you thought it was an option. And we over here on Team Abundance, we're going to be excellent. We will be proficient. We will not quit. We're going to execute. We're going to play, and we're going to win. And we talked about the execution yesterday, those 6 things you need to execute this thing out. So today, as we're executing out our team, you got to know when to cut some people. And just know it's easier to move with people who have your moving language. Like, it's easier. If my friend Tashana is on, it's easier for me and Tashana to have the same conversation about life, children, moving forward in business, because we have the same moving language. If me and Tashana didn't have, and if Miss Starks is on here, if me and Miss Starks didn't have the same moving language, it would be difficult for us to carry on a conversation past, hey girl, how you doing? So as you think about your team members, and you may want them to stay, boo, but it's your job as a coach to cut them off and say, maybe you can come try out later, because you got to have tryouts for the team. Maybe you can have a tryout later. I want you to create an exit strategy in love. That's number 1. Create an exit strategy in love. Boo, I love you. But if my mama say, I love you, but baby, you got to go today. You ain't staying here all day. I got somewhere to go. I got something to do. So Fronia will tell you real nice, as she's picking up her purse and got you by the elbow. You got to go, baby. I love you, but I got somewhere to be. You got to create an extra strategy in love. Number 2, you got to understand that you're both speaking 2 different languages. If you're talking 2 different strategies, one is winning and one is complaining. And complaining can be that they are standing still and you're not. It doesn't, maybe they're not consistent in their actions, and boo, it's going to take consistency to win this championship. On them days when JoJo don't feel like showing up, boo, that's where my effort and my character, remember we talked about that, your character is going to be the bridge for you. That's when my character say, boo, but it ain't this championship today ain't about you. It's about 10 generations from now, what Waddell is going to say, because Grandma JoJo did this, we can do this. You think Sam Walton felt like showing up every day? Or did he say, 50, 100 years from now, the Walton's name will be doing this. And because I did this. So that's what you're creating. And I don't want you to think anything different, that you're creating an empire. You're creating a legacy. And if you're going to be the Dawn Sam Waltons of the world, if you're going to be the Hiltons of the world, your character is what's going to keep you showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. And I ain't saying you can't say, hey, coach, I got a timeout. Let me go take a break. But in your timeout, you're reviewing your playbook to remind yourself of your greater vision. Why is you doing this? Good morning, my baby. Marcus, I was thinking about you yesterday. Y'all are on my screen, on my computer. That's why. So on this lovely day, it doesn't, when you're speaking 2 different strategies, winning and complaining, and staying consistent, and maybe they're not being as positive, but negativity can't live here. It's not allowed over here. And maybe you're moving and they're standing still, and in your movement, they get angry at you because you're doing too much. I know I've been told that I was told that yesterday, girl, you doing too much. I'm tired just listening to you. We play for 2 different teams. That's why. Because my movement ain't even enough over here on Team Abundance. Because once you figure out how to move, once I got my boxing moves down, boo, you can't tell me nothing. You about to get all this 5-2 today. It's about to feel like 6-3. You about to get it today. So think about those 3 things. Create an extra strategy for love, with them in love. Know that you're speaking 2 different strategies, winning and complaining, or winning and losing. And there are some professional complainers out there. So you ain't going to fix no win against them. That's why you got to bring your A game when you come up against them. Because you may be 5-2, But that professional complainer, honey, she like 7'9", 500 pounds, and she on your neck. How you fixing to win? And you better be bound and determined to win that thing. And don't allow their behavior, if their behavior begins or they begin to remind you of your behavior that you've overcome, if they are putting words where you have put silence, that's okay. That don't mean you got to participate. If you've been my friend for a minute, my new catchphrase for the past year and a half has been, oh, I don't want to participate in that. I don't want to. My kids hate when I say, Mommy, can you? Oh, I don't want to participate. I don't want to do that. When somebody comes to remind me of my lack or remind me of what I used to do or how I used to do it or take me, I don't want to, I ain't got to participate. I put a silence there. You want to add words, boo? I ain't talking about that. Honey, they professionals. And they coming for your neck. They're not playing with you. And if you think Team Lack is playing with you, look at how many times you have tried to change your life. And your mama said, well, baby, you don't know nobody over there. Well, JoJo, if you move 400 miles away with doing you and the kids and you ain't got no money, you ain't got no job, that's going to be kind of hard. They have loved you to their faith level. It is now your turn to love yourself to your faith level. And honey, in between their faith level and your faith level, that is where you're going to grow. That is where you have to have your effort and your character to help you here. That is where you exercise your faith. That's where you put your faith to work to shorten that distance to get to where you can see. From here to here. In between that spot is your disbelief. Now, if you're saying you want this thing, but you don't believe you're going to get it, the more your disbelief is going to grow, the less your faith is going to work. Period. Okay? That's how that thing works. Yes, Miss Stars, I tell my I ain't participating. And sometimes I don't participate. I don't even answer the phone. I ain't participating. Not going to do it. And if you don't think your kids are watching you, they are. My children, the other day, the phone rung. And I said, I can't answer that. I can't, because if I answer that, then I'm going to get sidetracked off of what I'm fixing to do and where I'm going and how I'm going to do it. And Courtney came in. She was like, Mom, who was you talking to? I said, the phone. She's like, but did you answer? I was like, no, I didn't answer because I'm not participating in that conversation. Because if I participate in that conversation, it's going to take me away from what I'm trying to do. And some of us, it is the mindless conversations that we have. And I want you to build in time to have those conversations, right? Build in time where you have those conversations where you just like, girl, how you doing? Girl, I ain't doing nothing, sitting here. Build in those conversations. But while you working, while you practicing, while you trying to win this championship, we need to be mindful of all those conversations we having. And if you don't, y'all, I don't know what show that was. It's been like 3 weeks ago where I finally got that exercise your faith. Like I finally got it. Like exercise. You got to work it. Press towards the mark. Like you got to put forth effort. Like it say press towards it. That's what it said. Like literally it said press. Exercise. Take dominion. We talked about that. Was that this week? Today? What's today? Today's just Tuesday. We talked about that. Take dominion. You have been given your gift. And you have got to impose your will on your gift to take dominion. He said, here's your gift. Now go take dominion. It is you imposing your will that allows that to happen. Some of us, we got a gift and it's just sitting there looking at us because we haven't imposed any of our will. For your gift to make room for you, you got to press. You got to exercise it. You got to impose your God-given will to take dominion over it. Ain't a person in the Bible who was given a gift of a thing who did not have to impose their will on it to take dominion of it. Period. Show me a person in the Bible, and I'm going to show me a person in any religion, and I'm going to show you how they had the gift, how they were told to take dominion, and how they had to impose their will. Even Moses, when he had the stick in his hand, he had to drop it and say, look, even he had to say, let me tell you something, brother. What ain't fixing to happen is we not fixing to sit up in here. So let me impose my God-given will upon this so I can take dominion. Ain't a person in the Bible, in the world, who doesn't have a gift, and you ain't got to apply your will to it to take dominion. It said we could have it, but you got to put some effort behind it. And that's what we're doing over here in Team Abundance. We putting effort behind it. And honey, we walking this thing out. We're going to work it out. Yes, Miss Starks, you got to press. And if you ain't fixing to press, you about to be like the man who put it in the ground and buried it and be like, look, you gave me a gift, all, but, since I ain't really know what to do with it and all, I just set it up there and I looked at it and people told me I was gifted. But I was like, nah, you ain't talking about me. And it's set up there on the shelf. I'm fixing to use everything I got. I'm showing up dead on E. You hear me? Because if I got a full tank and I got a press, I'm fixing to show up on empty. I ain't going to have nothing left over when I get to the other side, period. You about to get off. This here is about to get all that JoJo got. All the 5-2-ness that I have, you about to get it. Empty. I'm riding this thing till the wheels fall off. I cracked myself up. So on this lovely day, y'all, it's going to be it's going to be a good day. I want you to exercise your faith. I want you, if your disbelief is great, right? If you're like, JoJo, I really want to win this championship and I really want to be on Team Abundance. And if your disbelief is up here and what you're currently, and I'm going to be real with you, what you're currently seeing is not going to allow you to comprehend nor understand your vision. So you can't focus on what you're currently seeing here. You're going to have to step by step walk this disbelief out. And y'all know one of my favorite quotes, and I think his name was something Johnson. Faith and fear are both what you cannot see, but you believe is going to happen. Faith, you can't see it, but you believe it's going to happen. Fear, you can't see it. You all scared. You can't see it, but you believe it's going to happen. They are both the same thing. And boo, scared, fear, all of that. We all going, because I'm still winning this championship. I'm still winning this championship. So, how do we cut off them team members? We're going to create an exit strategy for them and send them off with love. Understand that you got to have different, if you guys are talking different strategies, winning and complaining, they don't mix together. So you have to look at that. And if their behavior reminds you of where you used to come from and you've put a silence there and they're trying to put question marks, then you need to look at that. And if they think Team Abundance, like JoJo, you out of hand with this Team Abundance thing. Okay, cool. You get to pick which team you want to play on. But there's only 2. You ain't got to stay, boo. Ain't nobody. What I'm not doing and what you should not be doing on your Team Abundance is forcing somebody to be here that don't want to stay. You're not fixing to do that. Don't force them to stay. And know it's easier to move when you have a team that understands your moving language. And it's a different atmosphere at home, Team Abundance. Because we're breathing at a different capacity. We're moving at a different capacity. So, I want you to also remember the quote, "Guilt does not get you great," by Lynn Richardson. Guilt does not get you great. It ain't fixing to. No. And I don't want you to apologize for being great. If you want your Team Abundance shirt, there's the link. I think Miss Starks got hers already in the mail. And so this is what it says. Team Abundance, we will be excellent. We will be proficient. We will be persistent. The back. We will execute. We will play. And we will win. Period. Ain't nothing after that. I'm going to execute. I'm going to play. And I'm going to win. And if you think we fixing to have a different conversation, then boo, that's okay. I ain't fixing to have it. I'm not having that conversation with you. Thank you, Miss Margaret. I'm not fixing to have a crazy conversation. And y'all see my chair don't want to act right. Yes, ma'am, Miss Margaret. Deuces, and be okay with saying that. I ain't gonna say it's easy, boo. I would tell you that was the hardest thing I ever had to do. Was to and as I sent my friends off with love, it didn't mean I couldn't be friends with them. It meant for this season, for this championship, for what I'm trying to accomplish, they can't be a part of this journey. They just can't be. And that was the hardest thing for me to do. The hardest. The hardest. When I tell you I didn't want to put on my big girl panties for that, no ma'am. I wanted my mama to do that for me. Nope. So on this lovely day, no matter how bad these folks want to stay with you, y'all, and they mean you well, they really do, but they can't play on your team any longer, not if you're trying to accomplish whatever that thing is. So over here on Team Abundance, and I promise I am working on creating a Team Abundance playbook so that we can have it and follow it. So if you want to be a part of Team Abundance, text motivation to 33777 so that you can be on the email list. Don't forget, we have the Sister Rise Retreat. It is coming up. The Sister Rise Retreat is October the 16th through the 18th. So that is coming up. Listen, Miss Nicole. And here's months ago, I spoke a no, but I accepted a yes. Don't be like JoJo. I said a no, but I accepted a yes. That meant I said no and I allowed it anyway. And you better start practicing that no and mean it. I said a no, but I accepted a yes. And when you say no and you accept a yes, boy, you feel bad. You feel bad about that thing. Because you said no, but you kept accepting less. So you better learn to practice that no and mean it. And stand on it. No. Period. Because there's nothing after that. Just no. So don't be like JoJo. Don't say no and accept a yes. You don't want to do that. That's a hard comeback right there. A to the man, Miss Margaret. So thank you guys so much for joining the Fearless Morning Show. Yes. Oh yeah. And there's 5 keys to live past crazy. So I'm the Live Past Crazy special. I broke it down in 5 keys. Number 1 is to be quiet. Number 1 is to be quiet. Because I'm a talker. I'll talk too much every day. Even when I'm by myself in here, I talk too much. So be quiet and listen. That's why you can't say you don't have the answers. I said all the time, I had the answers I didn't know. It's because I talk too much in here. I'm praying, Jesus, give me the answer. Lord, make a way. But I'm not quiet enough to hear the answer that is already in front of me. Yes. Let me tell you, Miss Nicole, I learned to say no in so many ways. I am a professional at saying no. I done got good at it now. And I had to become one. So number 1, the step to live past crazy is to be quiet. Your answer is there. Your talent is there. Your strategic plan is there. Okay? It's there, I promise. Let's just be quiet for a minute. So on this lovely day, I hope you have an amazing day. I want y'all to be peaceful, period. Because there's nothing. Be peaceful, period. That's why I insisted on that period being there. There's nothing after that. There's nothing after. So when you're ready to cut them team members off, create an exit strategy in love. Understand and pay attention when you're speaking 2 different strategies. If their behavior reminds you of something that takes you back, or if they think Team Abundance is too much, that's how you know when it's time to cut them off. And do it in love. Don't do it in anger. Don't do it in ego. Do it all in love, no matter how bad they want to stay. It's that effort that's going to keep them here. And as a coach, you got to realize when it's time for somebody to go. You and me, Miss Nicole. And y'all, Miss Nicole does the shirts for Team Abundance. So thank you, Miss Nicole. That's let me tell you. And here's the thing, you practice this every day. You are practicing, you're showing up for practice every day. You're practicing good every day. Eventually, great becomes. Good is practiced every day and great becomes. I like that. Good is practiced every day and great becomes. Because if I'm showing up every day on this thing, ain't no way in the world you fixing to tell me I'm not going to be great at it. Michael Jordan showed up every day. He practiced and he became great. It is your effort. It is your character and your will that's going to do it. And you, my friend, have got to be dedicated to that process. So please make sure you share the show, because sharing is caring. If your friends and family don't have Facebook, send them to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Fearless morning shows over there. It is Fearless Us over on YouTube. If they don't have YouTube and they want the podcast, we're on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. We're on Apple, Android, anywhere you can find podcasts. It is the Live Past Crazy show. So knock that out. If they don't do that and they want to read a book, we have 5 books, all of them on Amazon. One of them is not available on Amazon. It's still up for pre-order. The rest of them on Amazon, go read them. If they don't want to do that and they want to watch a movie, I got you for one good movie. It's called The Last Time. Send me a message and I'll send you the link so that you can purchase that movie. I think it's like $20. It's on DVD. Or you can watch it on Aspire TV. If you have Aspire, sometimes it comes on Aspire TV. Thank you, Miss Nicole. Miss Nicole did an awesome job for these. Miss Nicole, I think it's her son that runs the business. So I think she's like the project manager, correct, Miss Nicole? So she does an amazing job for the shirts. So you can reach me in all of those ways. Don't forget Domestic Violence Month is coming. It starts on Wednesday or Thursday this week. Thursday. October is Domestic Violence Month. I have 4 slots open for speaking engagements for Domestic Violence Month. Let's talk about it. I have been grateful that so far I have spoken at 27 places about all kinds of things, from how to live past crazy, empathy training, HR training. And so this is Domestic Violence Month, and this is my way of giving back. So I have 4 slots open for that. And if you want to talk to me about it, here we go. So the affirmations book. I wrote an affirmations and quote book. Yeah. Thank you, Margaret. I forgot about that. It is Suicide Month. All right. This is the link for the affirmations book so that you can pre-order that. It will be available on Thursday. So I'm doing the edits now. So I hope you have an amazing day. I want you to be peaceful, period. And if you share the show, please let me know so I can properly tell you thank you. Because most times I don't see it or I don't know. I can't do this by myself, y'all. I cannot. And I need all my friends to help me. Because I don't know it all. And I don't profess to, but I share what I do know in hopes that you don't have to continue down this road. And now if you have learned anything, if this has helped you, you are now charged with sharing it with somebody else so that you can help another sister or brother. I'm a firm believer if you help. And if you can just take one sister who would then, or brother, share it with their family, and their family will share it in the community, we will change the world. It is that simple, but we seem to make it that complicated. So let's help a sister and a brother out today. So if there was something here that you needed, please take it. If you didn't, leave it for somebody else. So have an amazing day. And I will see you guys here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.
Thank you again for listening to the Live Past Crazy Show with Yonmitra Jojo. She is the only Live Past Crazy specialist, and she is glad you spent your time with her. If you would like to know more about why she knows crazy and about her journey, she invites you to check out her website, www.livepastcrazy.com. as well as follow her on social media. Jan Mitra is her tag for IG, Twitter, and Facebook. JANMETRA. She also invites you to join her on the Fearless Morning Show, weekdays at 7:15 a.m. on Facebook Live. Again, you can find us on Facebook with the Fearless Morning Show page or by name. Remember, as a result of working with the only Live Past Crazy specialists, individuals are able to identify the crazy in their lives and develop a specific blueprint to begin to live past crazy. Do you know anybody who needs to live past crazy? Then send them over her way, because there is life after crazy. Be peaceful, period. And Jan Mitra will see you guys on the next show.